Greetings! Let's talk about tariffs and how it might affect you if you are an American citizen. Just to preface this, I'm not an American nor a politician, have no right to discuss politics in America. This is purely a fact-based video in case it's useful, relevant or interesting for you. But please feel free to discuss all the juicy bits in the comments section below. So what's happened? Well, America has made the decision to place a 125% tariff on any product imported from China into America. This tariff is payable by whoever does the importing. So maybe it's a distribution company or maybe it's an individual. It doesn't matter. Whoever brings it in has to pay the tariff. So in a way, it's kind of a tax on the Americans who are bringing in the Chinese product. And of course, they can choose whether to pass this tariff kind of downstream and increase the price of the product, or maybe they'll eat it. We don't know, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Now, I was quite surprised to find out that 43% of all musical instrument product imported into America currently is from China. Now, of course, this includes things like, full guitars, preamps, pedals, whatever it is, as well as individual components and parts. And we'll get more into the component list later on because that's quite important and I think it will affect greatly many of the American brands. Obviously, no one knows how this is going to play out, whether it will be changed, ended, or continue for a long time. We can only guess. But in the short term, for sure, what we're going to see is a shortage of Chinese product coming into America because people simply will not want to purchase or import. And also big price increases if they do import that product. And unfortunately, that's mainly going to affect the kind of consumer that would want the more affordable Chinese manufactured product. And that's obviously beginners, something that we desperately need on the market. Anyone on a budget who's already having a difficult time paying for stuff because not everyone has loads of money. Those kinds of customers are going to be hit the hardest by this tariff. Of course, the aim is to inspire the American market and really sort of rebolster American manufacturing, and we're hoping that lots of new American companies will spring up and create their own product, which would be amazing for America, but I guess time will tell. Well, you might have heard of the NAMM show, which I think stands for North American Musical Merchants. I probably got that wrong, I'm sorry if I did. NAMM has spoken out about the situation and they've said this will deepen industry losses and possibly spark a musical instruments recession, which I guess is the last thing that American musical instrument companies want right now, especially bearing in mind some of the huge guitar stores that have gone down in America over the last few months. Now, in retaliation, China has placed an 84% tariff on any product going from America into China. And you might be quite surprised to know how much musical instrument product is shipped into China from America. Chinese people love to buy legacy brand product like Gibsons and Fenders. They're all about big Americana musical product. But aside from incredible things like this Trident and the more affordable guitars and pedals and things, what else do Americans get from China in musical instrument product manufacturing that could be useful and could now be an issue? Well, potentiometers. Almost all of your volume and tone pots, any kind of pot and switch, normally manufactured in China. You might be surprised to know that all the little tiny metal screws that go on a guitar or any kind of instrument that uses a tiny metal part, normally manufactured in China. Capacitors, PCBs, bridges, tuners, locking nuts, and most notably of all, magnets. The whole planet gets a lot of magnets for guitar pickup manufacturing from China. They got lots of ore over there. But, American friends, don't worry, there are a number of really good guitar pickup manufacturing companies that make their own magnets, most notably AZ from Illinois? I'm sorry, I'm not American. And AZ.
Yeah, well done, Rob. You already said that one. What you really meant was Adams.
From Arkansas. Is that how you pronounce that? They make both Alnico and ceramic magnets for pickup manufacturing. And there are some really good hardware companies in the States that could replace, domestically some of the imported Chinese parts. There's MAN made in Bedford, Schroeder out of California, Waverly from Ohio, who make really good parts, and then I suppose most notably of all, Hipshot, who of course we all know and love. This does open a very small window of opportunity for European brands, I suppose like my own, because China is likely to seek new partnerships with European brands to replace the American trade. Of course, it's also slightly bad news for European manufacturers and American customers because European product will likely be a little bit more expensive due to the 20% tariff. My prediction is a lot of delays, squabbling and issues as American companies that used to produce in China will now move manufacturing to countries like Malaysia or Indonesia, some of these southeastern countries, Southeast Asia. There's going to be a big, exodus from China and a big migration of the manufacturing to some of these other countries. And I suppose personally my main concerns are for the beginners and the consumers of affordable product who really need the help, because the product is going to be more expensive for them. And my hopes are that it will stimulate the American market and that domestic companies will spring up, come into action and find a way to make product for their own market. So what do you think about the whole tariff situation? Is it going to revitalize American industry and push new companies to the forefront and make domestic musical instruments a big thing again? Or is it a big disaster? Please let me know in the comments section below. I'm interested. Let's have a discussion all about that. Take it easy. Chappers out.
Hello friends, welcome to Chappers Radio. It's that time again to listen to some good time rock and roll. Here is Long Way to Fall from Rob Chapman. Thing I know about falling, and that is you can always pick yourself back up. Thank you for listening. Take it easy, and as always, keep listening to Chappers Radio.